Hello, thank you for joining me today on my chapter 4 with my empowerment series, Helping You Fill the Gap. My name's Annette Manius, and I owned a business for 31 years. I sold my business to three people that worked for me. I did not know everything that I was going to have to do to go from the tactical piece of valuation and all the forms and all the documents to my exit. And my goal at that exit was to make sure that they could run the business and that the business grew and succeeded. I could look back on my legacy and say, I started that and they've taken it and grown it. That was my plan. But what I didn't know are all the things that were in between that needed to happen to fulfill my goal. So I call that filling the gap. I felt like there was a gap there of knowledge of what that looked like. And I struggled to know how to do that. So I created a course that has chapters in it about my journey. And it talks about the good, the bad, and the ugly of what that looked like. The course is hellbenttosell.com. Yes, hellbenttosell.com because we're all hellbent to sell our businesses. So this is chapter 4 in my empowerment series to give you a little preview of what the course is. So this is the chapter that talks about selling to family. So, what's interesting to me is that over the years, I've seen a lot of people who have sold to family members, sons, daughters, couldn't even be a brother, could be a niece, nephew, whoever it is, selling to family. What I've observed is that people that sell to family don't do the type of um, fill in the gap planning that other people do that might sell to someone that works for them. Or I had a friend of mine who sold to someone who was in the industry that she knew. And so when you're selling to family, it seems like people don't take those steps to fill in the gap. And I scratch my head and say, why wouldn't you? Are you just assuming because they've been in the business, because you've owned the business and they've seen you? Um, is that what it is? I really can't figure it out. But I guess if I talk to enough people and ask the question, I'd figure it out. But my contention is it doesn't matter who you sell it to, other than, if you're going to sell it to an equity company or something like that, you might not, the fill in the gap is not that big a deal. But if you're selling to a family member or someone who works for you or somebody outside the business that's a local entity, an individual that you want that legacy like I did, there's those steps that are filling the gap. And I think that even if you're selling to family, um, you need to do those steps the same as if you weren't selling to family, you were selling to someone else. So that's my contention. So this chapter in my course is very thought-provoking on this subject. It's a difficult subject, and but there's a lot of things there in the chapter and also the workbook that goes along with the chapter to help you to think through that. So there may be pieces that are there that are already there because they are family. So culture might be one of them. So they may be okay with the culture and kind of blend in with the culture. So you don't really need that piece. But then leadership is the one piece that I see that people that sell to business or I'm sorry, family members, they tend to maybe lack that leadership piece. And the leadership when you're selling to family is more difficult. So what I've seen is you could get, depending on your culture, you could get an attitude from people of, oh, here comes the owner's son. He's going to take over. It's all going to be a mess. He doesn't know what he's doing. So, you have to have the right leadership expectation and work that out correctly. So my course is on hellbenttosell.com. And the course takes you through each of these chapters in detail with workbooks to help you work through this yourself because everybody's journey is different. We're the same in some ways, but different in others. So this course will help you put you on that path, very thought provoking. I was talking to somebody the other day and they said, well, I'm going to work with a one-on-one with a succession coach, which is great. I suggested that he use the course because it's reasonably priced to get a sense of what that looks like. Don't go into that engagement with this coach blind. Do the course, have an idea about it, and then do that engagement with the coach. I think that's a great idea, really. So I've seen people do it that they take the course just because they feel like they can manage it. They just need some help, which was me. And that's the reason I created it is because I felt like I was doing that on my own. I couldn't find anybody else that could help me step through and fill in that gap. So that's what I'm doing is trying to help you fill in that gap. Hellbenttosell.com because we're all hellbent to sell our businesses. So I look forward to seeing you on the next chapter. And again, thank you. See you later.